For problems like B or C, you're going to want to first analyze how many sections your 100% has been split into. So we have one section here, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to take your 100% and divide it into 4 sections. Then you'll know what each of those sections is worth. Percent-wise, at least. Then we can calculate from there. So real quick for Mason or anybody else playing along at home, the first question we did was dealing with a discount on a pair of jeans. We knew our total price was $65. We knew the jeans were 40% off. So what we did is we took our 100% knowledge, converted that over to our 10%, and from there you can use 10% to find pretty much any other percent. So whether it's 40%, 60%, whatever, we can use 10% to find it. Guys, we can also go smaller than 10% and like find 5% or find 1%. Like there are other tricks that we can do. And I don't like the word trick, but I don't know, I need a better synonym for the word trick in that situation at least. Now you should be working together, but I know you guys are a little awkward right there. So Isaac just went to the restroom. So Mila, if we have 4 regions here, what is each region going to be worth percent-wise? 25. Yeah, so Mila figured out 25% here. Well, and over here, what percent would be for 3 of them? 75. Yeah, 75. Questions on how we got the 25% or 75%? Wait, blank percent of blank is 18. Oh, the 18 is on what percent? 70. So this would be 75%. Crap, so they want the total. They want the total. Crap. Can you talk me through it, Liam? Not just the answer, but how you got there.
Wait, what are we doing?
So what I'm doing is I'm going to draw some little lines right here and right here. I don't know what you're doing, but that's what I'm doing. Look up here. Wait, Max, you want to go for it?
Yeah, I want to go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
So what I did is I divided 18 by 3, which got me 6. And so basically for the extra 25%, I just added 6 and I got 24.
That 18 is 3 regions, and we need to figure out what is one of them worth. So Max said he took his 18, divided by 3, and figured out that each of these sections would actually be 6, 6, and 6 to make 18. So this has to be 6. So 75, well wait, 18 and another 6, what would our total be here? 24. So 75% of 24 is 18. Guys, where this came from? What's 25% of 24? We found it right here. Yeah, it is 6. And then what does that mean 50% would be? Yeah. See how 25 and 50 and 75% all kind of work together? Try that same sort of thing down here, but first count how many regions you got. I would first count how many regions you got. Like if you could make any other, like, could you make a statement about 10% or like anything else that's useful? So like I am always thinking about 10%. So since they didn't do 10% up here, I would probably write a statement about it. Right, it might not be shown on the line, but I could still use it. Or you could do 20%, right? Because that's kind of how our line is broken up. So if you wanted to just in that region write the 20% rule, you could. Because I mean, the 10% rule can easily turn into the 20% rule. Or Or it could turn into the 5% rule, right? Like you could go either way. Huh. Lucy, your card is up actually. So if we have 100% broken into 5 regions, what's each region worth?
4.8.
Ooh, that's the value up here, but you kind of jumped over what I was trying to do.
Wait, say that again.
What percent is each of these sections worth?
20.
20.
That's what I meant.
So Lucy, the answer you gave me is right, just for a couple questions from now. So Lucy figured out that each region is 20%. Questions on that part. How Lucy figured out 20%. She did 100 divided by 5 because it is broken up into 5 pieces. Then, you want to keep going? You want to move on? Yeah, keep going. So what do we put here and why?
60%.
Because it's 3 of them, right? And what percent do we put here?
40.
So then, now my brain is a weird place. You don't want to spend too much time. Always wants to talk about 10%. Guys, I wish you could go shopping with me and just see how ridiculous I am. My wife will tell me to go sit in the car. Like, because there will be a sign that will say, like, you know, whatever percent discount, and the sign goes 10% is this, 20% is this, 30% is this, 40% is, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is basic math. Like, they're just literally doing the multiplication for you, but some people can't do that because they never learned it well. So it drives me crazy because it's necessary because some people never learned. You're gonna learn. This is what?
The first year I learned about it because no one taught me.
Well, this is 7th. It's middle school math. So you shouldn't have learned too much. What?
My stepbrother's doing it.
Well, they keep changing what gets taught when, and they keep pushing stuff down. Either way, 10%. If 24 is your 100%, what's 10%? 2.4. Right? Because, guys, if we divide by 10 and divide by 10, that's how we get to our 10%. So then, wait. What is every 20%? Every 20% then, we got to double it. Okay, so then what is 40%? We double again. 9.6. Ooh, how do I go from 20% to 60%? Ooh, here we could triple. So we do the same thing with, so what is 4.8 times 3? 14.4. So that would go down here. This would go up here. And we can check that it works out, which it does. William?
So it's just a thought. Could you also do like $24 then divided by 5?
Yeah, define 20%. Yeah, absolutely. Different ways to get where we're going. And y'all are probably more creative than me, because back when I learned this math, they said, here's how you do it this way. Right? And like, my trick is like the 10% rule works really well. You don't have to use that. You can use whatever way makes sense to you. So William just asked, could I take my 24 and just divide it by 5? Yeah, and if he did that, he would get 4.8 and another 4.8 and another 4. Like, yeah, you can totally do that. On to D. Uh-oh.
It's very ugly.
How, anyone count how many gaps? 20. Isa did the work for us. I know, there's a lot of gaps here. So Isa said this is broken up into 20. So if I label all these, this will be section 20. So if I take my 100% and divide by 20,
5.
oh, each section is going to be 5 per, oh, so this is 5%. That little, like the region circled out there is 5. Crap. Emily, what's that leave me with for this region? How much percent is left?
90. Sorry, I'm glitching right now.
You're fine. Do you want me to skip you for now?
Would be 95%.
Yeah, 95%. Do we know the total? No. I mean, we 100%, but like we don't know the total dollars.
Isn't
Because
it
that was
66.50?
That is the 95. That's not the total,
Oh.
right? The total goes out here.
I know. You add 5 to the 66.50, and then you get 71.
So you're saying to dollars, we're gonna add 5%. So we're gonna get $66 and 5%.
But no. You
Can't
divide.
do that.
You divide 66.50 by 20, and then you add what the thingy thing.
Probably about to blow your mind. On your paper, please, I beg of you, write down 66.50 and give it a dollar sign, please. Over 95%. I'm about to make your life E-word. We could use 10%, we could use 5%, but I don't know how to get to 10% from 95. That's a little tricky. I don't even know how to get to 5% without thinking. Could I get to 1%? How could I get from 95 to 1? Divide by 9. Do that. And write it down, please.
95 divided by 95.
Well, but what matters is when we do it on the top.
60. What would that divide by 95?
Yeah, because it has to do the same thing as the bottom.
0.7.
Is it? So we get 0. Now with money, let's go ahead and go 2 decimal places. Can I now get to 5%?
Yeah.
Yeah. By doing what?
95.
Times 5, because we're only ever allowed to multiply or divide. 3.5. It's money. Go 2 decimal places. Guys, the 10% rule is great, but when the 10% rule won't really work well, use a different rule. Xavier,
Could you just like divide by like 90 instead of the 95?
why would you be dividing by 90?
Because there's already 5% there.
So if you take 95 and divide it by 90, you don't get 5%. Right? I think what you're thinking of is subtracting, but I can't subtract percent because I can't subtract percent from my dollars. This is why we're only allowed to multiply or divide, because I can't add or subtract when I'm working with 2 different things. That's the problem, is the 2 different labels. If they were the same label, I could add or subtract, but they're different labels. Does that make sense? That's a really good question. Like, I'm glad you asked that. So Xavier's making the reminder, we cannot add or subtract because they're different labels. Willie?
So, to get the total, would you just add 3.50 onto 66?
Yeah, so what we're saying is out here, this region must be $3.50 because that's what we just calculated is the 5%. And there's other ways we could get there. But yeah, so 67, so 70. Oh, that makes sense. Because guys, if 1% is 0.70, that makes sense. Makes dollars too.
I knew I was gonna say that.
I stole it from you. All right, try E and F. Try E and F. Again, there's a quiz next week. These will be very similar to what you see on the quiz. Cough, cough, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Mr. Hudson.
Yeah, I can. Would you like me to? So wait, before we get down here, how did you figure out that? It's right, but how did you figure it out?
Well, obviously that's 70%. So then I took 112 and I got down to 10%.
Oh, it's right here. Ah, I see it. Okay, sweet. Sorry, I hadn't seen that yet. So here, I don't know that we can find crap. So you know that that is that, or that is that. I don't know that we can jump to 10%. Ooh, you could jump to 1%. We could jump to 5% too, because I think 15
Yeah,
and
that
5
could've
would work
done
well. But I think if that's what you did, then I think that works. And then we can work with that. Seems good to me. Yeah, different methods, right? You got options. Be creative.
But if it's not equal like separation, then how am I supposed to?
Turn on and talk to Lucy.
How am I supposed to do it?
Vera Gammon, please come to the Perry office. Vera Gammon, please come to the Perry office.
How am I supposed to divide it if it's not equal separation? What do you mean divide it?
Lucy, do you want to talk that through for the whole class, actually? Sure. Do you want to come up and narrate, and I'll write?
Alright.
Like, do you want to, like, speak through everything, and then I can write it on the board while you're talking? All right, so Lucy is, like, as good, probably better than me at this point, so we're going to listen to Lucy like she's our teacher, because in this moment, she is. All right, Lucy, tell us what you did for this problem.
So basically, what you do, because it equals to 100% and already 30% is taken out of it, obviously the other percent has to be 70% to get to 100.
So she filled this in pretty quickly.
And, well, 112, because
120.
we know it's it's tens going up to 100. I divided 112 by 10.
120, I think you mean.
No, 120, what
Yes.
is it?
You said 112.
But, yeah, and then I got 12.
So pause there. Any questions on how Lucy got 12 for our 10% value?
I have a question. Are you going to do times 3 next for 12 to get the 30%?
I don't know. Lucy's in charge.
Sure. And then, obviously, you would times by 3, the times the 3, and then times 12 by 3 to get the other percent for 30.
So we're searching for this one now. So 30. Lucy said obviously a lot of times. It may not be obvious, so you might want to be careful saying that, because like it might not be obvious to everybody. All right, so sweet. So we get that is $36, and then we we still need 70%.
Well, we could just go back to 10.
Oh, we could go back to 10.
Yeah, go back to 10. Times it by 7 to get to 70. Then times 12 to get, times 7 to get 84. And then add them together equals 120.
Questions? Because Lucy's a great teacher. Thank you very much, Lucy.
Can I do the other one?
I don't know. What do you guys think? Can Lucy do the other one?
No.
No, we might want to involve some more people here. Let's do this one group. Let's do this one group. Now we'll come to you if we need help, because I know that you know what you're doing here. Because I looked at this one with you also. Man, this one starts at 50. Ooh, crap. Well, I guess I'm about to give away the first answer. What percent is left over if we've already taken up 85? 15%. Okay, good job, Hudson. Just tell them the answer. So, crap. I don't think I can get to 10% very nicely. At least not, like, immediately. I have 450 is 15%. And this is what I would write down on my paper, right? Bianca, do you have any thoughts of what we could do? What percent you might try to figure out first and then use? Totally. Yeah, it's the final one on the thing. You're totally fine. Grace, do you have an idea of what percent we might get to first and then go from there?
100.
I don't know how to jump from 15 to 100. Like, you're right. We could do this, and you could just figure out the math. But I want to try to do this in my head, if possible. So I might Try to get to a different percent that's a bit more manageable. Bianca? What about 5%? Can we take this down to 5%? Yeah, how do I go from 15 down to 5? Divide by 3. Remember, we cannot add or subtract. We got to multiply or divide. So I get $1.50 is 5%. Now, a few of us, as I walked around, and I know for sure Lucy did this. Lucy, what'd you go to?
I went to 1.
We could go all the way down to 1% and then work it from there. To do that, we divide by 15. What'd you get for your 1%?
0.3. Well, 30.
Either way, both of these are right, and both of them can be used. So I kind of like getting to the 1%, because then how do I get to 85? Times 85. From 5, how do I get to 85? More bigger than that.
80.
16.
I think it's 17.
Yeah, it's 17.
I think to go from here to there is 7. So guys, but either way would work. I just kind of think it's easier if I start at 1 and try to go to 85. Because I can multiply by, so I have a calculator, right? Like, it's not like I don't have a calculator. What's 85 times 0.3?
25.5.
25.5. So 25.50, because it's money. And then that tells us our total is
30.
$30. Questions on that? William? I'm all about reference pages. Because it like pays you back for doing your classwork, right? It's like you're investing right now by doing your classwork, and you get your dividends, which is like when you get a payout. Your dividends are having it available when you take a test. Are we all good here? I don't know what to do now.
How to draw the flower. Yes. But make it symmetrical.
Let's look at 15 real quick.
15.
So back on our worksheet, like back on our homework sheet, so we got one more to reference. So guys, if I was you, and not just if I was you, since I'm asking you to draw a diagram, let's draw out a diagram for this, and we're gonna skip A for right now. Let's draw out a little and guys, if you want to grab your protractor to have a straight line, there's protractors in the bins that you can use because they have a straight part. So 100% is $50. $100% is $50. Can anyone tell me anything based off of that you really quickly, like, you're like, oh, well, if that, then that. If 100% is $50.
50% is 25.
Okay, then 50% would be 25. What about, can I do that again and go 25%? What would I need to do with my $25? Divide by 2 again. Oh, we just kind of like accidentally did, like, I was just going off what Isa told me we can like quickly figure out. But guys, how did the $50 shirt get down to $37.50? It took away $12.50. So Xavier's over here telling us what we have here, if we're going to draw this like one of those diagrams, is probably 75%, because $37.50. And then that'd be 75%. And guys, you could either put it at the tick mark, or you could kind of put it like in the middle of the little bar thing that you draw. So what does that mean, the percent off was. Now that's what she paid.
Oh, 25.
Yeah, so if she saved $12.50, that was a 25% off sale. You have the next 4 minutes to work on your homework. I would dive right into this problem about paint.
What kind of shirt costs $50?
A fancy one.
Oh.
Don't worry, this shirt cost me about $12 because it was on sale at J. Crew. I only shop sales.
Thank you for telling me.
Hey, teachers, we don't have a lot of money to spend on clothes. And shoot, I'll probably end up like marking it with my pen by accident at some point.
You're gonna go to where?
Be like my family. Get on your siblings' nights out like
Max, be honest. It's just because you want to show off your muscles.
Yeah.
No,
At least like wear a diaper or something.
I think like $5 a week for underwear. So
That should be like what?
well, actually, what I'm gonna do is if I die, I'm just gonna come back to life so you can see the next session.
Be careful. Notice that this is saying there are 5 parts red, 15 parts yellow. I don't really have a yellow pen, so I'm going to underline that with orange. How many parts total? 20. Guys, I would make a note of that somewhere that there are 20 total. Careful, you need that total. 20 total. Because what percent is red? Remember, to find percents, it's part compared to total. We'll go over this here in a couple days. So guys, tomorrow we'll be checking 511. You need to try to have 511 done by tomorrow. We're going to start using our practice effort goal form again. I have new ones. Don't worry, if you have an old one, you can toss it. But we're going to be particular about these. We're going to check what percent you end up with this week and then how you do on the mastery on Tuesday based off did you do your homework when you're supposed to do your homework. We got a couple minutes left to keep working on the practice. Then we'll head out to lunch.
what does it mean by the simplified ratio?
Make the numbers as small as you can. So like if we want to write yellow to red, how many parts yellow are there?
5.
Careful.
15.
Yeah, yellow has the 15. And then to red, red would go on bottom. So that would be 5. Can 15 over 5 simplify into 3 over 1? Yep, because they can both divide by 5. So that's what it means by write the simplified ratio, and I just did one of your homework problems for you. Is divide by 5. Divide by 5. Guys, the more work you show, the better you remember it. I'm telling you, show your work, write out that we divided or write out that we multiplied. Like, have something to reference back to. We are out of time now. Sorry to break your heart. I am here for math lunch. We also play games, but if your 511 is not done, you might want to come to math lunch to work on it. Aside from that, have a wonderful day.